3. God damn it. 3, 2. Really?
Yeah.
1. It's Wednesday, January 25th, 2012. You've done the right thing tuning in to the 404 show on CNET TV. I'm Jeff Bacalar.
I'm Wilson Tang.
And I'm Justin Yu, and this is the show where court is now in session.
Tis.
The Honorable Beth
No,
Jacalar
Beth Jacalar?
presides.
There is no honor.
Would you really want Jeff to be like a judge?
No,
I wouldn't even
I don't
listen.
think so.
The thing with judges is that they have to be indifferent and they hear everyone's side. I would judge based on what
The
you
moment
look
they
like.
walked in.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, I went to traffic court this morning, and
I don't know why you didn't do that online. But
Yeah.
I was summoned. I had to be there.
Plus,
No,
you thought you could take down the price of the ticket just by
no,
showing
I
up?
took down the points. I was able to do that, which is a big deal.
How did you do that?
Just lied?
Did you
No, I'm kidding.
Perjury is a thing.
Yeah, you know
No,
that,
it's very, it's a racket they got going on there.
Yeah.
You can pay your way out of anything you want if the price is right.
Right. But I mean, that makes sense, though. You're paying more up front instead of paying more later.
No, it's
car
I'm paying
insurance,
more.
right?
Well, no, I don't even know if what my ticket would have given me
Okay.
a higher insurance rate. But regardless, you know, some of these people that walk into this courtroom.
Yeah.
It's just like no one told them, like, dude, don't wear a baseball hat, okay? Don't do that because if this is free advice. I'm no lawyer. I'm
it
no
easy.
Scholar in the legal system.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't, sag your jeans down to your freaking ankles when you come
Throw,
into the
throw a
courtroom.
sweater over the wife beater.
Yeah,
before
maybe you
get into
throw,
court.
and maybe you don't wear all these chains and paraphernalia that are
don't-
intimidating.
Don't flip off the judge. Those kind of things.
There was this
those
one
are-
guy there who was, and you sit in the courtroom and you wait for your turn, and this guy had all these terrible charges, like, driving without a license, open container, and a few drug things, and he goes up and he's wearing a hat backwards, and I'm just like, why would the judge look at you and be like, you look like a model citizen who, clearly learned from his mistakes.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't get it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
How long did it take for you? Was it one of those in and out kind of
No,
things? or-
it was about 2.5, 3 hours. It was almost 3
no,
hours.
I mean in front of a judge.
Oh, that was 40 seconds.
40 seconds.
That was 40. We
Yeah.
both knew it was just business as usual.
Yeah.
It was a little back and forth we had going on.
What did he say?
I just
He's
love
like, "Were you
hearing people
sorry,"
say
or-
my name. I didn't say sorry.
Wait, what? Is that?
He
That's one of the
goes-
most
he go-
conceited things I've ever heard anybody
No,
say.
because they screw it up. He's
Oh.
like, Mr. Bagagalar?
Bagagalar?
He put a G in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, Judge, it's Bacalar. He's like, I'm sorry. I go, it doesn't matter. I'm like, none of this matters.
Yeah.
does it?
Let's just get this over
Here's
with.
my credit card. Charge what you want. I'll be
Yeah.
on my merry way.
Jeff, you emailed me and Wilson to remind us that you were going to be in court for your traffic
Yeah.
ticket. I forgot that you had gotten that traffic ticket. I thought you were going to court to face the judge about you beating up John Kerry at a hockey game.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so did
Wait,
you
you beat up
guys?
John-
You guys saw the State of the Union yesterday,
Yeah,
right?
I did.
So John Kerry was there. Did you see his 2 black eyes and
Ooh,
a
yeah, that
broken
was-
nose?
He got into a fist fight.
Look at this picture.
No way.
Holy it blew my mind. I screamed. It's the only time I've ever screamed during
It
a
looks
State
like
of the
Herman
Union.
Munster came back from the dead.
Freaking terrifying. I wish there were more photos.
What happened to him?
He was in a something happened during a hockey game, and there aren't a lot of details
NHL?
about it, but I looked it up. Not the No, he doesn't play in the NHL.
But he could have been. He doesn't.
I thought you would
game.
know this.
I thought
Yeah.
maybe he was at an NHL game and he
Yeah.
said the wrong thing to somebody. Jesus.
No, he was
Whoa.
playing a hockey game. Somehow got 2 black eyes. I mean, I don't play the game. Maybe you can
he
tell
was
me how
playing
this happened.
He was
hockey.
playing
He was
hockey.
playing
Oh,
hockey.
now that's pretty cool of him.
Yeah, and
How-
look,
he's
he
an
had a
old
broken
dude.
nose. You can see his bridge is all bruised up. Not to mention those 2 giant black eyes.
Well, when you're that
Guy
age,
got demolished.
when you're
man.
that age, your bruises show.
Yeah.
Real
So,
nice.
was that a fight or
Yeah,
did
but
like
what
a
are the
hockey puck hit him in
no,
the face?
it didn't
Like,
say. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
the hockey puck was the size of a basketball or something.
Or
'cause
I don't know. Maybe
That doesn't
he
just
maybe he
happen.
just ate it and
Yeah.
just fell or something. I don't know.
would you get 2 black eyes from that? Have
How
you
would you-
ever
how is that
sustained this
possible?
I
much
don't,
damage?
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
if he's, you
It's either
can't
a
play
fight, right?
I don't know what the circumstance. If he was playing street hockey, then you
Yeah.
don't really wear a helmet. Maybe he
Doesn't
got
say.
beamed in the face.
All right.
It was bad.
I'm just saying, like, if you got in a
Newfound
fight,
respect for this dude, though.
You right?
Yeah, ooh.
Seriously,
He got battle
He's a
scars.
baller.
Yeah.
I can just imagine John Kerry like throwing down, like pulling off the face mask and like throwing his
gloves down and just getting ready to be like, "This isn't the first time we've come to fisticuffs."
Yeah,
you know?
he's like pulling John Boehner's shirt over his head, throwing the gloves down.
It's awesome.
What now? What now? Huh?
Who says hockey isn't an American sport?
No, it's classic, man.
But who
I
would
want to
fight
read
a
more into
senator?
that.
Like, would
If
you
he
really?
might have deserved it. Who
Really?
knows? I don't know.
Maybe he was high
These guys are
sticking.
like-
maybe he
He's like
committed a
slamming
penalty.
people into the wall. Like, is that what
Loving
he
it. Boards, Wilson. There's no
Boards.
walls in hockey.
Walls,
There's
boards. I don't know. I don't know how
I would
this
make
game's-
that mistake too.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Let's get back to the State of the Union, though. Wilson, I know you watched it last night.
I watched it. Yeah. it
What'd
was
you
very-
think? There was a big focus on technology this year, right? He was talking about how he wanted to train,
There's a Steve Jobs reference.
right, more
there was,
Americans in technology.
Yeah, and they talked a lot about clean energy. I don't know. It was actually I more paid attention to like the Twitter responses. It was kind of crazy. Like, Barack would say something, and immediately, like 3 seconds later, I would see like somebody requote or retweet it immediately on Twitter. So it was kind of surreal. I was just like, we really have gotten to that age where people just stop watching. They're just like tweeting whatever goes into their ears.
Right.
So that was kind of interesting. But beyond that, yes, it was very technology heavy, and that like this is what we should be doing, right? Like this is we need to create more manufacturing jobs. We need to be reinvesting in technology and helping people go to school for that. That I can definitely appreciate. I think that supersedes politics. I think that's just smart policy.
Did he talk about education at all?
He talked a lot about just re-educating. Like industries changed. Factories have moved. People can't do the same job that they were doing 20 years ago or even 5 years ago. So we need to have programs to train people and to encourage people to enter in different parts of the workforce.
Right.
He was also talking about education in high school and saying that no high schoolers should be able to drop out, and he's going to propose a
like
bill.
that.
No high schoolers will be able to drop out of school before they turn 18.
Or maybe you should have to pass this test.
Well, there's already a test.
I know,
There's
but
an exit
right.
exam.
So if you want to drop out, take the right. I mean,
Yeah, but that's the equivalent of getting a high school diploma. I think.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying.
you want
He's
to
like,
eliminate that.
Well, right now in a lot of states,
Yeah.
you can drop out of high school. I think depending on the state, but anywhere between the age of 15 and 16. You could all you have to do is get your parents to sign off on it.
Yeah.
Right.
I think you should go to jail. I think if your parents sign off on that,
Your
you
parents
should
should go to jail.
Like,
Parents should go to jail.
Parents should go to jail,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
have to pay some ridiculous
something
fine.
ridiculous. Yeah, like okay, great. Your kid doesn't get a high school diploma.
Like
but
what?
you know
what
burden
parent in
that
their
puts
right
on?
mind was like, okay, Billy, no problem.
Yeah.
You are not ever going back to high school.
Well,
That's
you know, a
fine.
lot of parents have kids that work full time in order to support their family.
that are 14
Yeah.
full time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
are
but
you
that's-
surprised by this?
but-
I am
That's-
surprised by full time working.
yeah,
at 14.
absolutely.
And the unfortunate thing is, a lot of those kids end up being, illegal immigrants, or they've, they weren't born here. They don't have status, so it's
Right.
difficult for them to either get into a school or, they have to work because that's the only way their family's going to get, going to be able to feed themselves. So it's just a really unfortunate situation all around. But yeah, I think that's great policy to say like, hey, you live in America, you've been given this chance. You have to take advantage of this.
Right.
Like you have to be in school, either get a high school diploma, a GED, or at least just be there until the age of 18.
Right.
Right.
Well, another thing that's really surprised me, I heard Twitter gasp when he was yesterday. Obama was like,
He made a terrible milk joke.
he
which
did make
apparently,
like one really bad
Really
spilled milk
awful
joke.
joke.
He made a milk
like
joke?
literally
Yeah.
about a milk spilling incident.
Apparently, milk was classified as like oil or something like that. And he made an awful, literally, like when Congress itself, you can hear the
Grumbles,
moans.
yeah.
Like it's got to be an awful joke.
They cut to a shot of a Michelle Obama after he made that joke, and even she was just like,
She's like,
"Oh
oh,
man,
she's
that was a
like-
total stepdad joke." Thanks, Glenn.
that
It
one
was,
didn't
Glenn
land.
it was
Obama.
exactly. It was a stepdad joke.
Yeah, like, oh god, it was pretty bad.
My uncle won't shut up.
No, he was also like, it's not right when other countries are able to pirate our music, movies, and media. And I feel like a lot of people on Twitter were wondering if that was a Sopo reference, if Obama was going to maybe flip-flop on his stance.
I know I wasn't here on Monday when you guys talked about it, but mega video, mega upload going down. I think a lot of people are like, okay, that site, the vast majority of all the traffic and what people were using it for was for
Right.
pirating.
I don't know.
software.
The vast majority.
I don't know.
would say
I don't know what the
I
breakdown
think
is. They haven't released the numbers.
You
They
don't
haven't
know. I
released the
don't know.
numbers.
Just vast majority to me is 90%.
So you meant to say
yeah.
the vast majority of everyone that we know that uses Mega Upload
Yeah,
doesn't use it
Maybe
legally.
the vast majority of people that you know.
And I have yet to see personally
I've
a
used
legitimate link
I have
that I've
used-
ever seen like on Mega Upload.
Right.
And that's
I-
just me. Yeah.
I've used it for legitimate purposes.
Okay,
So have I.
Well, yeah.
Legitimate.
But the point is, I think that it's the fallout from
Yeah.
that, where all these other sites that were, either in similar industries or related to, like, let's just say pirated video,
Right.
Like a lot of my lay friends or like not super techie friends are like, why can't I watch the show online anymore? It's not on Sidereel anymore. And I'm
Right,
like,
right,
well.
Here's another
Yeah.
handful of websites that do the exact same thing.
They're
Yeah.
not based in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot of this stuff, and the radio hits I do every week. Yesterday, everyone's like, why SOPA? What is it? And it's just like, the thing I try and break it down. The way I try and break it down is just, how it's like this zero tolerance policy, which was the most terrifying element of the entire initiative, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And then once you are able to get that point across, people sort of get it, and they're like, "Oh, that makes sense.
Right.
Why would we have a zero tolerance sort of thing like that?"
Well, I think it depends on who you're talking to. 'Cause
Well,
zero tolerance.
I was
got
talking
along
to a Fox News radio station, and they got it. So,
all right.
So come in.
Because there was a good time in this country where zero tolerance was, paraded and.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a dangerous two words back to back. Let's get into a couple maybe headlines here before we hit our first break. Ready or not, guess what? Facebook's timeline is coming to your profile, whether or not you freaking want it.
Have you
And
enabled this?
I have,
I have not.
Did you, Justin?
No,
You
I
haven't?
have not.
And Wilson, you definitely have.
I tried it and then I found out.
I don't even have to
I
think about
tried
it.
it and then because I thought that hey I could go back and apparently you can't.
There's
no
as
going
soon
back.
as you enable it.
Well, this is
there's
good
no
then. I'm
going
glad
back.
that happened because now you can give us a review on what we should look out for when we install it.
Okay,
Is that-
I think from like a user point of view, I prefer the older layout
course.
just because it's the thing that I hate the most is having to look on two sides of the screen.
Yeah, it feels like
Yeah.
reading a comic book. I
I'm
don't know
telling ya.
when the dates line up.
I know
It's
that
not-
sounds really trivial.
It should just
but
be
like,
vertical,
yeah.
right?
Maybe Mark Zuckerberg's too young to remember.
Yeah.
But his website is starting to look a lot like other sites that aren't around anymore. You got to be careful, brother.
Yeah. Are you talking about MySpace?
I'm just talking about
Yeah.
the collective crap that we've all dealt with
Right.
on the internet.
Well, Wilson, you talk about this all the time. It's like your natural inclination is to read from left to right, then up to down.
Yeah,
you know?
and also to you've been trained all of your life to do things like follow a margin.
Yeah.
And to have the margin flip back and forth like this,
It's
a user
confusing.
Reading
it
a
is.
mosaic.
I can't describe what I don't, and I don't like that big photo. You put the photo
I
at the
kind of
top.
like that now.
Big
but
photos,
then,
okay.
but it's just
It's
sort
a
of
new
like
way to express
customizing the whole thing, and I thought the whole idea about Facebook was like, no, we're not gonna let you, put all this garbage on your
crap
page.
on your page. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think that is personally one of the improvements because it's a genuinely creative outlet. Because
Right.
I've seen some really cool pages. People will put some inventive things behind it.
Sure.
Those are kind of nice.
But you
'cause,
give that freedom to everybody.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ugly
All right.
crap
there's
there.
gonna be somebody's gonna put up something grossly offensive.
Well,
one
that's,
day.
I don't care about
I'll take
offensive.
care of that. What I wanted to talk about was the timeline. Is there a way that you could just disable that altogether?
No,
There's no way
that's-
you can disallow other people from viewing your timeline?
Not
There's
after
gotta
this
be.
week.
Really?
Yeah, like once they enable it, that's pretty much what every Facebook page will look like.
No, but I'm talking about the actual timeline on the right panel of your home
Oh, on the
Facebook
right
page.
panel.
Yeah,
That
look,
I'm
check
not
out this
exactly
photo.
sure.
This is what I'm talking about here, where it displays every year that you've been on
Yeah.
Facebook. If you click on one of those, it shows all of your activity. I'm wondering if there's a
I
way
know
that you
can
secure it so no one can
customize
see
it so that people can only see parts of your timeline. That goes back to the fundamental problem that Facebook's always have.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why do you want to spend all the time filtering out your timeline
Right.
that you've built over, for most people, anywhere between 5 to 10 years
Right.
on
Yeah.
Facebook for certain groups of people,
Right.
right?
I wish there was a way for me to find out whether or not what I'm doing on Facebook, my activity,
Uh-huh.
is even worth me being there.
What
You
does
know what I
that
mean?
mean?
I don't know. I
You
don't
want to see like the dollar sign next to
Yeah,
like
I
every-
literally want like an actual monetary, assignment
Yeah.
to that.
I'm sure somewhere at Facebook there might be something similar to
because
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The more and more this thing evolves, the less I like
that.
it.
Well, yeah, one thing that we missed or we didn't get to talk about last week was that Facebook actually rolled out a bunch of new verbs
60.
along with 60 of them.
I'm talking about the apps, the Open Graph
Yeah,
apps. Is that what
the-
you're referring to?
Yeah, so they're referring to them as verbs
Right.
or apps that integrate into the timeline.
Verbs?
Verbs. So
Okay.
before you could poke someone, before you could like something,
Right.
and then Facebook would tell you if you were listening to something, right?
Right.
Well, Facebook rolled out 60 new app partners that integrate into the timeline, and they're going to have similar verb actions. So
Yeah.
I ate, X, Y, and Z meal.
You know
Or
what though?
I-
People were concerned about this flooding their news feeds, but I was doing some research this morning, and it said that those graph activities, those open graph activities, won't actually show up in your news feed. Those are only in the timeline, so you have to click on that right bar in order to see them.
Okay.
It's not going to clog up your feed. Still pretty annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys tested out the new Listen To feature where you can listen with
Or
other
listen
friends?
with?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
or-
like the turntable.fm.
I haven't
club.
tried that. I saw the news piece about
Like
it.
social
and
listening on Facebook.
Have you?
But it's
I've
not
not.
convenient. It's not like when you go to a site like Turntable
Yeah.
or one of the competitors, like you go there with the intent of, okay, I'm going to listen to this.
Right.
Like on Facebook, it's almost one of those things where it's like, oh, you happen to see someone listening to this one song that
Right.
you kind of like.
Right.
Let me listen to them with
I don't
it.
think it's meant for extended listening
Yeah.
sessions.
It's one of those things that, actually Google Plus does really well
Mm-hmm.
with Hangouts. There's like designated areas where you can go to if you want to interact with a group of people.
Right.
But I think it's one of those things that Facebook does kind of poorly is like have an area on, a designated area on the page where you're interacting with people. Almost every part of the page right now is almost an information overload.
Yeah.
At
You know
the
what?
moment.
To that point, you know what I really, really love to see in the next version of Facebook is a way to search your friends' status updates. Gosh darn it. You know how sometimes you'll be browsing through
Yeah.
Facebook on your phone and you'll see some like headline that
Yeah.
somebody posted to a link.
Right.
And, like you'll kind of glaze over it and then later you want to come back and read it again, but you forget who posted it.
Okay.
Does that ever happen to you? I feel
No,
like that happens a
no.
lot.
No, but I can appreciate your
Yeah.
desire for
Yeah,
that.
it'd be great if I could just search for that and be like, oh, here's that link again.
Yeah, that'd be
just like
cool.
you
I mean,
would in
I'm
your
positive it's going to
browsing history.
And I almost think that's the creepy part about Facebook is, Google's stated mission is to organize and collect all the world's information. That's creepy, but at least they outright go and say it.
Yeah, they
Right.
wear
So
that
when
on
you-
their sleeve.
They wear it on the sleeves, and so when you use a Google product, they're going to be, some algorithms reading your email.
That happened to me the other day. So I used Google Maps, and I guess I was signed in. I used Google Maps to locate a friend's apartment because I needed to get there. So I
Right.
looked up directions.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, I was on Facebook, and it had a recommended link to open houses in that area in downtown Brooklyn where I was trying to get to.
Interesting.
I was
But-
like,
but-
how did it know that? Well,
Well, I mean, it
it's
knows
OpenGL.
like Gmail, Google is reading, quote unquote, like there's
Yeah.
an algorithm reading your email. That you
terrifying.
understand. The thing with Facebook is that like there's no warning like that.
Yeah.
Everything you do on Facebook, whether you realize or not, Facebook is trying to sell to somebody.
Right.
Right.
That is their business model.
They're
So-
watching you. They're learning what your habits are.
Exactly.
creepy.
To one day kill you.
Well, I don't know
Or
about.
sell
I
you.
don't think the ultimate end is death.
I mean, they'd be losing money if they
Yeah,
killed all
they
their
don't want. They
users.
want to actually keep you healthy. I'm surprised Facebook hasn't, worked out some sort of dietary program or some sort of health care.
You're right.
Would you get Facebook health care?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
They would know everything about
They
me.
want you alive. That's the only good thing about our world is that
Yeah.
it's in their best interest to keep you alive.
Have you ever told somebody about the whole Open Graph stuff on Facebook?
Oh, yeah, like
how it
someone
connects
who's
to
not
Google?
Yeah.
They freak out because people don't realize that Google and Facebook talk to each other and use each other's services.
Yeah.
What they know.
Oh, it's totally
terrifying.
creepy. Like I literally remember, like I was sitting at a bar with a friend, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he works at CNET." Like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I talk about Google and Facebook." And they're like, "Oh, that must be so much fun." I'm like, "No, it's actually kind of scary if you
Yeah.
really think about it."
Yeah, I wake up
They're
every
like,
night in a
"How?"
cold sweat.
Well, I mean, like, and then you explain to them, "Oh, they're reading all this information about you.
Yeah.
They're collecting all this stuff."
And they yell at you, "Get out of my head!" I wish if there's one thing, and I know Facebook does this, where they give you the option to see what your profile looks to
Yes.
looks like to other people. It's not good enough. I want a mode that I can click on that just says every last thing that I'm spitting out, that Facebook's spitting out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to know every last, if it's an open graph thing, if it's something else, I want to know because I'm sick of it doing stuff and not telling me about it.
I want like a graph, that shows exactly where my information
Exactly.
Like as soon as you
where's
hit
it come
post, like,
from
where is
and
it
why
going?
and why and why is it there?
Or it should do it on other sites too, where Facebook
Yeah.
is also locating you.
That's
like,
the thing,
when I was looking
man.
up addresses, it should say, "Hey, we're going to use this information and show advertisements."
I've got no problem with the level of intimacy Facebook would like with me. I understand they really want everything, but I want to also have that information right up there up front.
That's
Facebook
never
wants to be
gonna happen.
intimate.
Let's get sexy with Facebook. Is what
Under
I'm
the
trying to
covers.
say.
They should call
I'm
it
serious,
Facebook
but do you
under the
understand what I'm
covers.
saying?
Yeah, I get it.
And you
I
you
would
can
love that as
appreciate
well.
that.
Of course, it's total
let's do it,
transparency
man.
is what we're
It's
asking for.
Total transparency.
Yeah.
Transparency now. All right, that's the fighting cry.
Pixelandia in the chat room is like, "Oh, you mean an infograph? Like something that would help me understand information
Yeah,
better?"
how
No,
about
not
that?
an infograph. I'm talking about a normal graph.
I could use
old school,
but they
style.
could display it in the form of an infograph, and I would be able to digest it much easier. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, more 404, some voicemails, and all the good stuff we do on our show. Stick around.
This is the 404 MRFers, the show where we all sing songs.
How did you get started with the honey badger?
Well, it was my assistant showed me the original Honey Badger video, and I was just like, the narration is so mundane and so stupid. It's time to this animal is eating cobras, demolishing animals, and this narrator is just so boring. I said, you know what, we have to spice some things up a bit. So, I've always had a natural talent for doing narration. I figured, what better animal to start with than the honey badger, seriously.
So why the honey badger?
I think because of today's society, it's an animal that a lot of people I feel can relate to. I think a lot of people are fed up. I think a lot of people want to be able to take what they want. And I believe firmly, and Harvey can tell you this, I bet you Harvey will be the first one to tell you this, everyone inside of them has an inner honey badger, just waiting to get out. They don't care, they want to take what they want, and now is the time to do it.
Who's hungry?
Who's hungry?
Welcome back to the 404 show.
TMZ getting the internet scoop.
Yeah, that was crazy. We
Yeah.
watched a video of his name's Randall, right?
His name is Randall. They didn't release his last name, but he's the voice of the honey badger in that
Yeah.
YouTube video.
That thing's been everywhere.
It has been. I mean, it's been out for a
It's been
couple
about
months now.
What, the honey badger thing?
Yeah.
I think it's been a year. At
Yeah.
least a
Really?
year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, you're the curator of all things new video. You should know
Yeah,
that.
but I only keep track of them when they first come out.
Fair
I don't
enough.
follow them after.
Dude, he's in that pistachio commercial. You ever seen
Yeah,
that? Honey
yeah,
badger
yeah.
don't care.
Honey badger don't care. Look at him though. He looks creepy.
The best part about
Does
all
he?
that,
Is
yeah, he
he-
does. He's a weird looking dude. The best part about, oh, you know what, Justin? That might
It's
be a wig.
yeah, these guys
I
were
don't
like.
believe that
but
that's
why
his
would he
actual...
wear a wig?
Well, he's clearly trying to cover up his face so that nobody knows who he is.
I would imagine
That's
he
a
might
real
be leaving
mustache.
something. Like he
It's
could be
not
at
a real
shoot.
mustache.
That's a
I
real
don't know.
mustache, though. Yeah.
I think
It looks
everything
like a
is
Ron
fake.
Burgundy, like kind
Yeah,
of
he's.
kind of look.
It's a joke. Look
I
at
don't
that
know.
hair.
It almost looks too good to be true.
Yeah.
Anyway, that
he's
was
also wearing a turtleneck with a blazer.
Yeah,
I
in
love
LA,
that.
in LA
Yeah.
somewhere.
It's
I
80
I
degrees.
really do think though that honey badger, that's one of the funniest videos I've seen on the internet.
It's pretty
period.
good. Yeah.
And that's a great video because it doesn't matter who you show that video to,
Right.
everyone finds something funny about it.
Yes.
You know, even my sweet Lou was like, "Oh my, this is great. This is amazing."
Oh, the honey badger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
We need to
finds
get
something.
that guy in the studio.
That would be great. Oh, I would love to hear him say, "You're listening to the Four."
Ooh, that would be
Great.
awesome.
I don't give it.
Who's
bumper.
hungry?
I don't give
Uh,
a freak.
Well, I mean, that's actually a really good example too. Going back to what we were talking about earlier about the SOPA thing, that wouldn't exist if SOPA
Right,
passed.
right. That
Yeah.
should have been the whole campaign on the internet. Just
Save
a honey,
the honey
just like a
badger.
dead honey badger. This is a world. In this world, in
Right.
SOPA world, there are no honey badgers. It's true.
It's provided me a lot of
And
entertainment.
think about what the kind of success this guy. I guess success is a
Has he?
relative word.
I mean, he probably got paid through
yeah.
that
He got
peanut
the pistachio
Yeah.
commercial. You know.
Yeah.
I'm sure they probably had to pay Nat Geo off for that too, though, didn't they?
Probably.
But either way, it created a semi-celebrity web star,
Yeah.
and
Good memory.
more
for
power to
2011.
him.
Yeah.
You know, honey, but he's got the whole line of T-shirts now.
He doesn't care.
People
though.
name hockey teams after them. freaking great.
Isn't that what you wanted to name your
I
team?
do still want to do my hockey. I also want to do now. If you want to hear the new one, you guys will like this because we talked about this during the Yuletides. I want to call the team Great Scott.
Great Scott?
And have a flux capacitor on the front. Like how Emmett Brown would say Great
That's
Scott.
not even a noun. How can you call your team?
It's like an expression. Like,
Yeah.
What the
No, I don't like that.
Really?
No.
Wow.
I'm not feeling it.
No, the Honey Badgers works better.
Yeah.
No, but that's old, man. I know Back to the Future is not even.
That's way older than Honey Badger.
I know, but I'm saying it's
Even the flux capacitors would be better than that.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
the
at least it's a
DeLoreans,
noun.
I don't know.
Back to the drawing board, I guess. let's hear what that would be cool.
Great.
Great Scott. It would have been. Shut up.
How about no, Scott?
Shut up, all of you.
That's like naming a team the Cools. Or
No,
like,
it's not.
Or
No,
like
it's not,
the
Wilson.
Awesomes.
That just makes
No,
me feel
it's
weird.
better than that, Wilson. Shut up.
My heart just shrunk.
What about
a
like
little
a
bit.
Hill Valley something or other?
No.
Like the Hill
There's
Valley.
no Back to the Future references.
F you guys. Oh, F you guys so hard. Calls.
Time to show the love. 866-404-CNET.
Switched his camera. Look how bummed he is.
You're not gonna get
All
away
right,
with
all
this.
right. The Great Scots. Good
No,
name, man.
no. Not
Really
you don't
good
pluralize that.
idea for a hockey name.
You're not pluralizing that.
You're so clever.
You're not pluralizing that. You're just saying
The
great team. Well, my,
What does that mean?
But-
So it's
my
Great
team right now
Scott?
is called Top Gun, right? How's that work?
I don't know about that.
Stupid,
either.
right?
Yeah, the Top Guns.
It's not pluralizing.
You should call it the Best Buys.
Because a lot of teams aren't pluralized. You realize the Heat, right? The Miami Heat. They're just a freaking feeling.
Yeah, but you wouldn't say heat.
They're just a temperature, right?
Yeah,
I know.
But heat is its own plural.
Right, I get it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's like it's not the New
I'm not
Jersey
having you.
Devil.
I'm not having you two guys tell me what's a good
Chat
hockey
room's not team
feeling.
feeling it either, man.
I think the chat room could go to hell too. I
The
don't know.
McFlies.
Shut up, all of you.
The chat room says the McFlies.
Nah, that would be
Yeah.
good. McFries.
Now we're on to something. See, it's a freaking work in progress. It's
Yeah.
a back and forth.
That's much better than. The
oh,
Great
don't you
Scott.
tell me about your stupid hockey team idea
Is it
names.
the Great Scott?
No, just Great Scott.
No, I don't get it.
Yeah,
All right,
no.
yeah, I know you can't
I gotta
process
think about
that.
it a little bit.
Okay, here we go. First call.
I hope this is the Blue Cross Blue Shield of
What?
Florida office. I'm looking to talk to somebody about a bill. My number is...
No, what?
What?
was that?
What about the name? You could have provided the name of the
Time
person
out,
she's trying to
lady.
get in contact.
You
That was
call-
an actual call.
Time out, lady. You call up a number. You hear, you've called the 404 show. Not Blue Cross. Never. No.
Not like Justin
And then
Hugh.
she's like, all right, well, I heard that outgoing message. Still gonna go ahead and leave my own message because maybe they
Just in case.
changed. This is why, you know.
I mean, she
man.
probably hears a lot of joke voicemails, so maybe she thought ours was.
Where are you getting that
I'm
from?
just trying to look into the mind of this
And
crazy woman.
She called back a second time, and she's like, "Oh wait, you know what? I don't think this is."
Oh,
what
did
I-"
she really?
Yeah.
Wait, she called
hung
back.
up. She did. She like hung up right. She's like, "This isn't it." I hung
Yeah.
up. Good, smooth move, lady. Man, what's up with that? I don't get it. All right, next call.
What's happening, 404 guys? It's Quillen here from Rhode Island, and I was listening to your show, and you were talking about SSIDs. I had a problem a while back. I didn't know how to put a password on my SSID, so I changed my SSID to
mouthful.
I log your passwords. Never had anyone connect again. Internet prices went way.
That's funny. So he
I like
changed his SSID to "I love your passwords."
Password.
It's not
Or
bad.
you could change it to free public Wi-Fi. You know. Like
That works when remember the old trick when you used to have those Nokia phones, cell phones. I would always put like battery low or like no signal
Oh,
on
you
the
would
banner.
do that?
On the banner,
That's pretty funny.
you know.
Yeah.
Why not?
That's
I think
really
we had
clever.
somebody send in a image or something
Yeah,
like that.
we
of
talked
his-
about that. What you
Okay.
that was
Which
when you
one?
left. That was when you left the show early. We covered that.
Left the show. Or...
Yeah,
Oh,
remember
okay.
you had to leave. So if you still have a really funny SSID, take a screen grab and send it to us because these are I don't know why I just find this very funny because
Yeah.
it's it's just like a weird sort of unpoliceable situation where it's like
Right.
oh I'm just broadcasting a phrase
It's
to
like pirate
everybody.
radio. Kind of.
Yeah.
I look on my available networks if there's literally 40 networks in my area. Starting to work like am I getting any kind of wave
Radiation stuff.
I know they give off a little bit but like
I
you
mean,
know?
unless you sleep next to your Wi-Fi router, I wouldn't really worry.
well it's under
about
my
it.
bed.
Well,
No,
okay.
it's not.
No, of course
He's
it's
the
not.
router
Why
of
would
the
I do that?
I almost believed
Yeah,
you
yeah.
for a
You know
second.
what? And also, like, this is super nerdy too, but I feel like I've seen some very comical router locations, like where people decide to put them. I've seen ones in bathrooms.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so-
well, that's a matter of where the guy installs
I understand,
the
but
cable.
the guy wouldn't put it in the bathroom.
And they leave you a little bit of
yeah,
slack.
yeah, they give you some slack. You know, so if you have a funny story about that or a photo, please share it with us.
You know, I was also thinking like it's a really great way to just offend someone or to just call someone out like constantly. You know, like with your SSID. Like if you were in
Right.
college,
Well, the thing
and you
was-
really hated someone, just like change your SSID to blah 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 is a punk.
Smells.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
story we were talking about. This guy kept hearing his neighbors having sex, and he wrote, "Hey, we can hear you,"
Yeah.
in his SSID.
Yeah,
which is
but what
pretty
if you
funny.
like really just call one out just for just
like
to be
Beverly
spiteful?
G? I know you're stealing my mail.
Or like I know what you did, A1. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
apartment.
Attention, apartment 7.
Look behind you.
Yeah, we smell that. You know, something like that. Here's a call, very positive, talking about our
You say that like that's so weird.
our
or so
tech prowess and stuff like that. Let's listen to this.
Yeah, Jeff, you're going to be on Tech News today, I hear. That's pretty good considering you three guys are supposed to be now the tech people at CNET, and you couldn't even figure out what that Samsung machine was at CES. And Wilson, which is supposed to be the big tech person,
Right? You're the
couldn't
big
even
tech
figure
person.
it out.
Yeah.
So, I think you're
I'm
going
glad you find this funny, sir.
to do a little bit of studying before you get on Tech News today, because if not,
they're gonna rip you
I don't
apart.
even know if Wilson could handle it. So,
Whoa.
with
All right.
You know what's funny, though, is that we get so many voicemails from this same guy. None of them are positive, by the way. And like the degree of venom in his voice.
Yeah, he
too.
hates
I
us.
mean, like some people will call up and criticize us in a joking way. Like, you guys have no idea what you're talking
This
about.
guy's-
because
yeah.
they can tell that we
Yeah.
don't take ourselves seriously either. But this guy is so serious.
He's
in
like,
his
I have-
hatred for us, but he keeps listening.
Yeah.
That's why he's my favorite caller.
He's like, I have clear and cut definitive
It's
proof
so
that
good.
you suck.
Yeah.
But I will
He
continue to
hates
listen. I love
us
it.
so much.
He's
That's
the guy
awesome.
who's
But
like
something keeps him coming back. It's like that inner child in him that
It's like
secretly loves
it's the
us.
bloodlust.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's like we'll say like, oh, it has 4 gigs. No, it has
Yeah.
6 gigs of RAM. Whatever, it doesn't matter anymore.
I get like a very specific like girlfriend's father feeling from him because I know that he hates us, but he can't get away.
Yeah.
He's tethered regardless of how he
Right.
feels.
Yeah.
But going back to his point, how do you feel about being on Tech News today?
Yeah,
That's
so-
like hardcore
Yeah, I'm with him
nerddom,
too.
man.
Why are you going on?
Well, I mean, because Jason Howell's a good friend of mine,
Sure.
and I was like, he asked me if I wanted to do it, and I'm like, dude, of course, love you, you huge man, you.
Right.
And yeah, so we at CES, we met up, and I was like, oh, let's do it, a couple weeks after we come back. So tonight, I guess it's like 6:30 Eastern. I'm gonna be on.
Cool.
Oh.
So I don't really know what to
Do you have
expect.
any idea what
I've
you're going to be talking about?
I a little bit. I haven't seen the show in a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
I should do that. Like,
Well,
check it out.
You're representing us on this show, so
No,
don't talk about
I'll
hockey
just-
names.
I'll just represent myself.
Yeah,
How about
okay,
that? I
that's
don't
good.
want to loop you guys in with any of the nonsense.
But you
that
should
might come out of my
probably
mouth.
say the 404.scene.
Oh, yeah, well, I'll
I
promote that
wish
for
somebody
sure.
like watch the show, and I just want people to like find choice moments of like Jeff reacting to
Yeah.
what they're saying. Just
Yeah, I
Just-
don't know.
just because like this is the kind of show that like you would very much geek out about,
Yeah.
and,
Right.
like, to a point where you might not really.
You think I'm out of my league on this show?
I wouldn't say you're out of your league. I would. It'd always be funny just to watch. Just-
If you don't know what to say, just do the
Jason
Howard Stern Baba Booey thing.
Jason and Tom, they know me for a while.
Yeah,
they
they're good
know
dudes.
they know the way I look at tech.
Sure.
So I think
I think
they
there'll
know
probably
what
be
they're
a little
getting
more
themselves
humor
into.
in this episode. than
someone might
normal.
even smile. You
Little
don't
more
know. You don't
hate.
know.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
know. Little more hate.
Well, you,
little
do
more
bring,
hate.
you bring that to any
no,
room you step
don't
into.
call it hate. Call it tasteful.
You and that caller should get together and have a hate off.
It's a tasteful disagreement.
Yeah.
That's a
I hate off.
I euphemize
We should
that.
really do that. We should have
Yeah.
that contest on the show. A hate off.
Right.
Oh, you know what? I will challenge anybody.
That guy.
Like you give me any topic, and I will find 13 reasons why it sucks and should
Yeah.
be ended. That's just what I'm gonna
I
say.
think you'd win. I'm not challenging you.
You're-
man.
Everyone's just
You know,
silent.
that would be like a great voicemail. Like, well, we'll pick a topic. Someone calls in with the best slam they could do.
Yeah.
Let's see if Jeff could top it.
Yeah.
All right, so where can people listen to you on the show?
It's on the Twit network.
It's twit.tv.
Right, and that's tonight at 6:30. I don't know if they do it live. I guess they do. I'm not sure about that, but I'm going to be on tonight, so
Okay. Cool.
Everyone's looking forward to that, including myself. It's going to be a good time.
It's a video show, right?
Yes, it is. I got to figure out. I got to get a Skype account.
You got to put a sticker on your forehead.
I got to get a Skype account. I got to get an email address. And I got to get a webcam.
All before 6.
That trifecta.
Got a lot to
all
do
line
today.
up. So, I have my assignments, and it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
That guy.
So that's going to do it for us today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to give us a call, go ahead, 866-404-CNET, or email us to 404@cnet.com. We'll be back tomorrow, and then finishing up the week on Friday with a lot more fun.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Anything else to talk before we get out of here, Wilson?
I think that's about it.
That's about it, friend.
Great
Justin?
Scott.
Great Scott.
The McFries. I like
Not
that.
the McFries.
Even that would be better.
Or what about? Okay, here's a bit of trivia. What was Marty McFly's band name in the audition? You can't look it up. You can't look it up on Google. And you wrote Mary McFly.
Huh?
No.
It was Back to the Future. Oh, no. The Pinheads.
Yes, it was the Pinheads.
The Pinheads.
All right.
That's what it should be. A lesser-known Back to the Future
I like
reference.
that. The
Super
Pinheads.
vague, though. It's
That's
super
good, but
vague.
then people
There it
That's
is.
better than Great Scott.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Then people will think you're a Hellraiser reference.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
See you guys tomorrow. I'm Jeff Bacalar.
I'm Wilson Tang.
And I'm Justin Yu.
It's the 404 high-tech, lowbrow, Great Scott.